Napoleon's cavalry was not just a single weapon, but an entire arsenal, each honed for a different purpose, each with its own style, spirit, and role in battle. Types of cavalry. The Hussars. If the cuirassiers were statues of war, the Hussars were dancers, flamboyant, fearless, and fast. Wearing braided dolmans, tight breeches with gold and silver stripes, and fur-trimmed pelisses strung jauntily over one shoulder, they were as much of a parade as they were a fighting force. Instead of being chosen for their size and strength, the Hussars were often chosen for their incredible wits, cunning, small stature, and agility on horseback. They rode smaller horses than the rest of the cavalry and very little to no armor. But beneath the style was a deadly purpose. Hussars were the masters of reconnaissance, pursuit, and raiding. They struck quickly, disappeared just as fast, and made life miserable for any army foolish enough to leave its supply lines unguarded. They lived by daring and audacity, and the greatest of them, like General LaSalle, became legends for their exploits. The chasseurs à cheval. Often called the workhorses of the light cavalry, the chasseurs à cheval were steady, reliable, and always in the right place at the right time. Clad in green with light braids, they lacked the hussars' flash but made up for it with discipline and endurance. Napoleon kept a regiment of chasseurs in his imperial guard as his personal escort, a sign of their trustworthiness and loyalty. If the hussars were the showmen, the chasseurs were the quiet professionals. The Lancers. Armed with long wooden lances tipped in steel and adorned with brightly colored pennons, the Lancers were a terror on the battlefield. Their weapons gave them reach over swords, allowing them to strike before an opponent could close in. The most famous of all were the Polish Lancers, whose charge at Somosierra in 1808 broke through 4 lines of defended artillery in minutes. With their distinctive square-topped chapka helmets, they could be seen from far away, a sight that sent chills down the spines of their enemies. The Mamelukes. Exotic and formidable, the Mamelukes were drawn from warriors Napoleon had encountered in Egypt in the late 1790s. These Islamic North African horse warriors followed him back to Europe and supported his empire for the next 2 decades. They wore flowing robes, silk sashes, and turbans, carrying curved sabers and pistols. Though small in number, they were ferociously skilled in close combat and served in Napoleon's imperial guard as a living reminder of his eastern campaigns. Their presence on the battlefield was as symbolic as it was practical, a statement that Napoleon's reach extended beyond Europe itself. Together, these distinct types of cavalry formed a complete mounted arsenal. Heavy cavalry like the cuirassiers and carabiners delivered the crushing blow. Dragoons adapted to any role. Light cavalry, hussars, chasseurs, lancers, scouted and harassed and pursued. The Mamelukes added a dash of fearsome unpredictability. Napoleon wielded his cavalry like a painter uses colors, blending them in different combinations for each campaign. And when used together, they became something greater than the sum of their parts, the thunder and lightning of the Grande Armée.